Did you find it difficult to balance your professional life along with being a dad, or was it kind of because you talked a little bit about, when you're with your daughters, you're 100% there. So in a
Right.
way that almost the flip side also applies. When you're not with them, you're focused and present with the thing that you're attached to. And I think for a lot of people, especially men, our jobs, our careers, the thing that we spend all of our time doing and thinking about outside of our relationships and our kids, um, tends to be that thing. So did you find it easier, or did you find it more challenging to actually find a balance between your professional life and your life as a dad?
I don't know if it was easier or harder. I would tell you my professional life skyrocketed after I got divorced. It just got better. I don't know if that was just timing of the age I was at and where I was in my career, but I started to climb the corporate ladder, quote unquote, around that time. I've always made it a point to be there for the special moments in their life, so like leave work early to go to play practice or soccer games or whatever, and to make sure I'm taking time off for that. But it's also given me incredible focus when I'm at work to make sure I'm successful at that job, because there's nothing to fall back on. If I lose my job, I'm the only one losing it. Like there's no spouse that's working, it's just me. And so it's certainly giving me maybe a different mindset as to my planning isn't just for me anymore, it's for someone else. Like I honestly don't give myself a lot of thought when I think of the future. Like I'm weird that way. I don't think about my own retirement, my own, how much money I'm putting aside for myself. I do that. Like I'm a banker, so I'm not dumb, but I think more about where are they going to be? What's their college? Like, what's the next step in their life? Where are they going to need money? Those are the things I worry about. And so when I'm working, I tend to be really focused on it. I don't know if that's because I'm a dad or just how I'm wired. I think it's a little of both.
Yeah, you kind of have to, that is something that I don't know, like come to terms is not the right phrase. It's been highlighted. Yeah, it's definitely been highlighted. This idea, like I have this little tiny human being. I'm very lucky that, my wife is she can work, but we've made it a priority for both of us and for our son that she's raising our son full time. Because maybe if we have more kids and blah blah blah, whatever. Both of us grew up with a stay-at-home mom, and we both want that for our kids. And there's definitely a certain, it's pressure isn't the right word, because like that almost makes it sound negative, but there's like a certain like realization that you have a responsibility to live up to taking care of this new life. And in a way, financially is the major way that as a dad you can contribute, especially early on. I think being present, being a part of their lives, being a parent obviously is important, but in terms of their future, their success, their overall
Right.
quality of life, like financially seems to be the thing that dads are there for, so.
Well, it's become a running joke around here. Like I tell my girls all the time, you guys are going to go to college and tell your friends I'm paying for your college through memes, and it's become a joke. But the truth is like I put so much work into this stupid meme page and 2 podcasts because it's going to pay for college for my kids. And it's not that I don't love it. I mean, I love it, and I love giving back to people, and the things that it's offered me is, been really amazing. But ultimately, yeah, it's going to pay for somebody's college. And that's a really cool thing,
The
and
most
that's how you get,
21st century thing ever. My dad's
yeah.
age paid for my college.
Well, but that's how you get wired as a parent. Like you start thinking about, like you see opportunities and you don't think, all right, this is a great opportunity to be an influencer or whatever, goofy people think when they get into social media. You look at it and go, I can pay for a semester's worth of college for this. I can buy my oldest a car, like you start thinking about that stuff. And, it's a much different mindset. It's the benefit of being old. You know,
My brother, my brother's not that much older than me. I have two older brothers. My middle brother is 6 years older, and my oldest brother is 8 years older. And my middle brother, he says this thing all the time and it drives me crazy. It drove me crazy like 10 years ago when he first said it, and it drives me crazy now because remember, by the way, he's only 6 years older than me, so he's not even
right,
40. And he says youth is wasted on the young. And I was like, dude, you're not even, the first time he told me, he was like 28. I was like, you're not
right,
even 30. Like, first of all, get out of here with youth is wasted on the young. But he's been saying that thing. He's been saying that constantly. And part of me now thinks he's been saying it in order to almost remind himself of like the advantages and opportunities that he
right,
has available to him right now. But hearing him say that to me and kind of hearing what you're describing here is this idea of like, oh, you start looking at things as like an opportunity to check this box of like, I want to be able to take care of this role that I've set for myself. um and and it's real, it is real. And I'm thinking about how I approach things now, just even over the past like 2 or 3 months, because yeah, my wife was pregnant for like 10 months, but it didn't feel real, and it doesn't feel real, at least for me as a dad, until even not even like when I held him for the first time, seeing him be born. That wasn't even the moment. Like, that was fantastic, that was beautiful, but I feel like it's only the past like month or two where I've been taking care of him and being in the process of seeing him like actually emerge as a human being, and not just this kind of like pooping, crying diaper
right,
monster that I have to take care of in the middle of the night. It's just that like process has really enlightened me to, here's the things that I really need to be able to take care of in order to live up to my stand, because he doesn't have any standards for me yet. He's 2 months old.
right,
As long as I'm like, making funny faces and like talking to him on a regular basis, he loves it. That's all he wants from me. But I'm thinking of 10 years from now, 20 years from now. I'm thinking about his school. I'm thinking about him being a socially competent human being and not being a douchebag. And like, like all these things, like I don't really have as much control over it, I think, as I want, but I also feel that there's like a responsibility there that I have to live up to. And I keep thinking about that youth is wasted on the young thing. Like, what could I have done 10 years ago to have set up for this better? I don't know. I don't
dude.
know.
Parenthood will make you make choices you never thought you would make. Like this is a weird example, but as a young person, my brother-in-law is a pilot and he builds airplanes. And as a young person, if he had said to me, "Hey, John, come jump in this airplane I just built. Let's go fly around," I'd be like, "Okay, let's go." The person I am now, I'd be like, "My insurance doesn't cover it." It would. Like I would think, I literally would think, if you crash your plane and I get killed, my kids don't get life insurance. And you don't think about that. And so that's where it is wasted on the young. Like young people don't think about that stuff, and as you get older, you think about it. It's like, I don't want to die young or even at the age I'm at, but if something happened to me, I take a lot of comfort in knowing my kids would get a lot of insurance. And I don't even tell them how much it is because I don't want them to off me in my sleep. Um,
You can't incentivize it.
yeah, I don't want them to know. Like they don't even know how much money it is. It's just one of those things. So it just makes you make weird decisions, and I think you always do. And it never ends up how you think it's going to. The kids change a dozen times from the time they're your kid's age and my kid's age. Mine are so different now than they were even 5 years ago. It's crazy.